Final Fantasy Ever Crisis, Rainbow Six Mobile, Valorant, and Call of Duty Warzone's been amongst the most anticipated mobile games for years. We've already made a dozen videos showcasing some of the best upcoming games for mobile, but today, since there's so many new games popping up left and right on TapTap, today we're going to introduce about 20 very recently announced AAA mobile games that are releasing either later on in 2023 or next year. Let's go. Available on the Apple Store and TapTap for free since just last week. Number one, we have Thrud, which in the past I've mentioned Thrud maybe a handful of times as one of the most anticipated mobile games, and if you miss out on its trailers, well, the game is here. It's an online game about 3 GB in size, and it's an action shooter. Now, I want you guys to remember this is a list of upcoming games. So besides Thrud that we just mentioned and a few other games, we're gonna have to wait a little longer for a decent experience. And that is specifically the case with Ys 8 Mobile. So apparently NIS America has their biggest Ys game to this day, Lacrimosa of Dana, coming in Chinese and Japanese first and a month later in English on mobile. If you didn't know, this is a series of action-adventure RPGs, and this game specifically was released first 7 years ago on the PS Vita. With almost 50,000 pre-registered players on TapTap. Guys, I had to go deep to find this one. I mean, you technically can't even find a trailer for this game on YouTube, even if you looked up the name in Chinese. So here's the thing. Shanghai Yao, or translated to Mountains and Seas, is actually a series of anime that started life apparently a few years ago. These folks are now making a side-scroller like Ori games with Souls-like components and putting up a beta for it next month. Here's a short trailer. It's a beast of a game. Number 4, this is one of the biggest projects of 2023 for mobiles. I've mentioned numerously before a game called Wuthering Waves, an open world action RPG that has been teased on IGN, the PlayStation, and even now on GeForce Official. This game is story-rich post-apocalyptic action hack and slasher that has a really good reputation out in mobile gaming. The good news is we just got a new trailer for it, in case you missed it. The bad news is, however, a precise release date for Wuthering Waves is still yet to be announced, even though we know it is going to be released by the end of the year. Coming soon, at number 5 we have Project Star, which is similar to Genshin Impact and Nier games. This is a hack and slash RPG with hints of strategy, or rather turn-based battles, and a really decent design to go with it. Yet to be given a proper name, however, this game is actually from a team of 5 Korean game designers, first of a couple of games that they're making with almost the same quality and frankly one of the better looking games we have in the list today. Here's a trailer. This game doesn't even have a TapTap page yet, but coming over for a beta testing in the next few months. Stay tuned. with over 50,000 pre-registered testers as of literally yesterday or this morning. Number 6, we have Star Ward, aka Star Wings. The Chinese to English, it actually translates to both of these names. What it does have one of is that it's one of the best 1 versus 1 fights that's ever offered in an action fighting anime style mobile multiplayer. Guys, Star Wars, first work of its developers by the way, is available on TapTap. It's coming out in English fully, leaving its beta phase in about 3 months. Coming up behind that, I think I mentioned it maybe once, pretty hard to believe, but just the same as the first game in the list. We've got here Apex Legends Mobile 2, or as it is retitled in Chinese since it's not globally translated yet, originally named Highly Energy Hero. It's a rather Apex Legends meet Fortnite combination that's probably the second best shooter released so far in the past few months. This game is a multiplayer battle royale arena shooter, so of course it's an online one. Game's about 2 GB in size, it's a 10 out of 10 on TapTap, and it's set to be coming out fully by the end of the year. Available on TapTap and a few other websites. Number 8, it's one of the biggest AAA action RPGs of the year, with over 2 years of development that finally made it out in its alpha phase. If you missed out on, we have Fan Ying. Guys, Fan Ying or Fen Ying on TapTap is a large-scale fighting Souls-like and a narrative game in nature. It's almost a PlayStation exclusive, like Final Fantasy games in feel, and a real-time hack and slasher and an adventure in pace. Long story short, it's available now to try. It takes you down about 5 GB of storage and it's online. Coming from the famous developers of Guardian of Icefield. Number 9, we have actually the single biggest open world game in the list today, quite a bit reminiscent of Tower of Fantasy and a few other MMORPGs, a game called Path of Rune. With over 100,000 participants on both Android and iOS devices, this game is sitting on TapTap with an almost 10 out of 10 in rating, one of the smoothest gameplay mechanics the platform has to offer, and a decent world to explore too. Only problem is that the game will not come out to West by the end of the year. Been around for a month already in Korean, however, sitting on both Google and the App Store with an almost perfect 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. Number 10, we have Atelier M. This is a RPG open world adventure, or rather MMORPG, almost a dragon taming and monster collecting game that's coming as its developer's first work. Now the short gameplay mixed with cinematic over here is legit. The game is about 4 GB in size and playable online. Atelier, on the other hand, is set to receive a brand new entry, this time from mobile, in the following months before 2024, going by the name Atelier Resleriana. This is another classic JRPG with mobile exclusive this time around, with a brand new story arc, as always, some of the best 3D visuals and designs, a heck of a personality for the wife characters, if you know what I mean. And here's the trailer. It was revealed yesterday. You can find the game on TapTap and the Google Play Store as well, for free.
男前な冒険者さ。できた。できました。錬金術の英知、とくと見よ。これも食らえ。やー。レスナちゃん後ろ。这给你一个痛快。
Sitting on TapTap and the App Store as of yesterday with over 1 million registered players, no longer in its pre-registration state as well, it's right out there for download on TapTap. We have Anka Panic. Although this game is in simplified Chinese and said to be coming over in English soon, it's maybe by the end of the month, it has to be already one of the most graphically amazing real-time strategy RPGs of this year. I've actually mentioned before, you can try the game right now. Speaking of graphically demanding games that are in simplified Chinese, as I mentioned before, not only we had hands on Anka Panic, there was another one, another turn-based as opposed to real-time, but just the same strategy RPG on TapTap going by the name code AOI, or I. This was just a quick mention, the full English versions hitting both Google and the App Store early to mid-September this year. Moving on. From a couple of months ago, we have a Kingdom Blood. This is in case you didn't come across with before, technically based on a Netflix Korean zombie series Kingdom, and quite frankly one of the best Netflix shows out there, even though it was just in 2 seasons only. It's a story-driven hack and slasher and a horror game at the same time in nature. Here's a trailer in case you missed. The game is coming to PCs, consoles, and even the mobile devices later on this year. Number 15 is the most anticipated game of the year, easily 10 out of 10 on TapTap already, the one and only One Punch Man World. This is an action multiplayer semi-open world game that's coming from the same developers of Tower of Fantasy, more precise in gameplay though. It's a rather beat 'em up with the aim to fit all the series' characters and story, specifically Saitama himself and his story, into just one game. Anyway, it's about 6 GB. You can try the game on TapTap and its official websites. The full game is going to be released in the West in about a month from now. Honorable mentions, we have Bleach Soul Resonance, number 17, Darkness Saga, that's an action RPG. We've got Mia Initial Plan, another hack and slasher, a game called Forsaken, an action RPG. Number 20, it's Magic Rebirth, another action RPG. And last but not least, Dimensional Illusion. Look at the trailers. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.
Our footprints have scattered far and wide, across mountain peaks to thriving towns. As we gaze upon the gospel perishes to ash. The fractured blade shall cleanse the primal sin, and we shall vow in the name of the defilers.